Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the live stream episode number 60. It says just up here 59. Pay no heed to that. Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. This is, in fact, episode number 60. And I'm going to prove it just by putting it right at the bottom of the screen here. Welcome to episode number 60. And I would value anybody giving me a shout out and letting us know how the sound is. Already we've had one comment, which is from the Woods household. Jolly fine couple of people. David and Janet say hello everybody on this fine evening, and another fine person, Michelle Gallagher. Good evening, Michelle. Tom McQuillans gets in touch. Nice guy. He says good evening everyone, it's good to be with you and I hope all are well. Well, I hope you're well too, Tom. Thank you very much. Ben Southern also gets in touch. Good evening everyone. Good evening to you, Ben, and I hope to see you soon. Marion Bouchard says sound is perfect right now. Well, I'm just going to fiddle with all the knobs until it isn't, I'm afraid. And a new name, or one that I don't recognize so well, is Kerry Baggerson. She says hi, sounds clear, thank you very much. Makes a change. Lots of people getting in touch to let me know. Thank you very much, we really appreciate that. I'll tell you what else we really appreciate, and that is when you are very kind to us and you take the opportunity, such as now, to click share. And by doing this, what you are helping us with is to get our reach out there a little bit more. So we don't mean click this lady, the popular singer of rock anthems from the 60s till the current day. No, we don't mean her. We mean click the share button. So whether you're viewing us via our Rogue Shanty Chorus Facebook page, or perhaps the Rogue Shanty Boys or the Voice Cloud Facebook page, or even if, like the Woods household and the Drapers, you're watching us on a very high quality through youtube.com. However you watch us, click share so that your friends, associates, family and mates and colleagues and all those kind of people that you have on your list can see what we're up to, see what you've been enjoying this fine evening. And what a fine evening it is as well. Well, I'm not going to dally about too much. I'm going to get straight into a song because I'm contractually obliged to do so. Very good. Linda Boy says, evening, folks. And Jonathan Brindle says, oh, I clicked share. If I could turn back time and not do that. I like what you did there. Now, Jonathan, in fact, will be with us later on. Jonathan is a man with many hats, and also many. Well, he has more than one coat, so he says. So that's good to know. But just a few things that he does is science and education, and of course he is a shanty man, but for a bunch of pirates. He'll tell us more about that in due course, I'm sure. In the meantime, I'm going to go to number 2. Unfortunately, I can't share lyrics tonight, but number 2 in our repertoire is A Drop of Nelson's Blood. I think everybody knows this pretty well. If you don't, you'll get the hang of it in due course because it's very repetitive. And it goes like this. And a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. A drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. A drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And a plate of Irish stew wouldn't do us any harm. And a plate of Irish stew wouldn't do us any harm. A plate of Irish stew wouldn't do us any harm. We'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And a good run ashore wouldn't do us any harm. And a good run ashore wouldn't do us any harm. And a good run ashore wouldn't do us any harm. We'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And a big fat bosun wouldn't do us any harm. A big fat bosun wouldn't do us any harm, and a big fat bosun wouldn't do us any harm. We'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And a roll in the clover wouldn't do us any harm, and a roll in the clover wouldn't do us any harm. A roll in the clover wouldn't do us any harm, and we'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And if you want to do it, don't you do it against the wall. And if you want to do it, don't you do it against the wall. And if you want to do it, don't you do it against the wall. We'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And a pint from the landlord wouldn't do us any harm. A pint from the landlord wouldn't do us any harm. A pint from the landlord wouldn't do us any harm, and we'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. So yes, as I said, number 2 in the Rogue Shanty Chorus repertoire. If you have a folder, hopefully you will sing along. If you don't have a folder, perhaps you're one of our newer rogues, or you've joined us along the way during these lockdown shanty sessions. Either way, I'm sure you found it easy enough to catch on to what the jig is, and I'm sure you will sing along with me. Don't leave me singing solo on my own, please. Now, A Drop of Nelson's Blood is the title, or We'll Roll the Old Chariot Along. It's a very old Christian song, Rolling the Old Chariot, that was adapted by sailors. And the drop of Nelson's blood in the title refers to the Battle of Trafalgar. Nelson was shot by a sniper, French sniper, and unfortunately lost his life. And in order to get that man home, so his body at least could face the hero's welcome back in Britain, it's said that the body was kept in a barrel of liquor for preservative measures. Now, it's not strictly proven that this actually happened, but again, rumor has it that the sailors would sneak in as past the guard to get to this barrel and draw off a little bit of the liquor inside, drink it, to imbibe, so that they could be filled with some of the heroic, brave spirit that Nelson had exhibited throughout his career. Of course, he started as a cabin boy, really, around the age of 14, 15, and worked his way up to Admiral of the Fleet, Admiral Sir Lord Nelson, Horatio Nelson, and that song starts off all about that eventuality. As Haley Pennell says, they pickled him. They did. They absolutely pickled him. Sarah Jordan says, haven't got a folder, but still wobbling along. Good for you. Thank you very much. And who else have we got? Yes, Nick Dwyer. Good evening, Captain. I say Captain because he's in charge of the Excelsior on behalf of the Excelsior Trust, a fantastic ship from Lowestoft, full of history, full of life, and full of good people. Right at the top is Nick Dwyer. He says, hello, hello, hello. What's going on here then? Well, you'll find out, Nick. We'd love to know whereabouts you are tonight. Jonathan Brindle says, if not, you'll hear it again in a little bit. There goes that planning. Whoopsie. Sorry, Jonathan. We should have liaised. Today says ahoy all and ahoy to you too, Sue. Anyway, what else can I tell you? Yes. Well, I should say good evening once again. And I should tell you a little bit more about the Rogue Shanty Chorus. I'm going to flash up a little picture of what we look like when we're together. It's been so long since we were together, and we're hoping to be together again soon. But this was during one of our sellout shows at our home in the theatre, Seagull Theatre in Lowestoft. Now, the Rogue Shanty Chorus is an authentic fishing choir based in Lowestoft, which is the most easterly town in the United Kingdom. And we celebrate the music of fishermen and seafaring communities, singing sea shanties and maritime-themed songs as part of a wider creative arts project called the Unique Coastal, Cultural and Musical Heritage of Waveney. And we celebrate the associated heritage of the fishing industry in North Suffolk through that project. The project, of course, is, I say of course, you may not know, but I do. The project is funded by People's Health Trust. They very kindly not only guide us, but support us financially. And they've been absolutely fundamental in keeping us going through these lockdown sessions. It's part of the communities, the Active Communities program, which enables us to work with people of all ages from 2 years old to 90 years young. All abilities from experienced musicians to those just starting to explore their love of music, and in particular this folk genre of sea shanties. Anyway, as I mentioned, we have a special guest coming up a little bit later. Jonathan Brindle joins us all the way from the States. He's quite near Boston, if I've got my geography correct, in the States. And I can see already he's backstage, so I'm going to give him a little wave. And he's got lots and lots to tell you, and a few songs to sing you, maybe one less now that I've nicked some of his drills for the night. Anyhow, how about another song from me in the meantime? This is a whaling song. It's called 8 Bells, and it's number 11 in our repertoire. Now, the whale ships were known as the death ships sometimes. Quite a dreary business of whaling, and it was considered the worst job to be had at sea, particularly for the boredom, the very hard work, the loneliness, and of course the large potential that you could well die on board, not to mention the killing of the whale. However hard it was for the men on these ships, it was quite a bit harder for the whales. They were at sea often for months at a time, sometimes even years. And this particular song refers to the bell that would be sounded to mark the end of a shift. Now, the shift was round the clock, and each shift lasted for 4 hours. So a bell was rung every half an hour, with the 8th bell marking the end of that 4-hour shift. So like I said, number 11, if you have it. If you don't, the chorus is repetitive. Feel free to sing along. It goes like this. I found myself shipped on a whaler, and I sailed to the far northern sea. And being a bold-hearted sailor, I cared not for ice nor breeze. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. When up in the hoops I was dandy, at sighting a whale, there she blows. When out in the whaleboat was handy, a smarter young tar never rode. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. Well, it always felt such a long time to be up there just on your own, and my mind would often wander to dream of my girl back at home. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. At the end of my watch, oh, my fancy was to get to my bunk quickly, oh, for I wanted to dream of my Nancy. So I called from the watch, hey, below! 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. But now I'm no longer a sailor. I often wake up in the night and thinking that I'm still on the whaler, call out with the greatest delight. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. 8 bells, 8 bells, rouse out there the watch from below. So that was 8 bells. As I said, number 11 in our repertoire. Jonathan, I'm going to come to you in 2 minutes. Give me a thumbs up if that's good for you. Excellent. And before I do that, I'm going to go to our word of the week, because we have a fantastic book, and fantastic it really is. It's called Suffolk Words and Phrases. Now, this was published by Edward Moore in 1823, and it keeps an account of lots of different funny, queer, interesting, odd, curious, humorous phrases and words peculiar to Suffolk. In fact, there's lots more besides the Suffolk words, but particular to Suffolk, this book is. And tonight, the word of the week is, or as we call it, hey, you heard it, boy. The word is Lowry, or Lowry, 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 Lowry. Please get in touch. Let us know what you think that word might mean for the night. You are encouraged not to cheat by going onto Google. What we really want to know is if it's a word that you hear in everyday parlance. And if you don't know, if you haven't heard it, then why not have a guess, a complete guess? It can be funny, it can be interesting, it can be cheeky. We don't really mind. But please have a guess, or if you know what it is, stick it down. Pop it in the comments box. Anyway, I promised you someone handsome and talented, and that's exactly what you're going to get. Next up is our guest for the evening. Please go crazy for Jonathan Brindle. How are you, my friend? I'm going to unmute you. That's what I'm going to do. I might not be able to do that because I think you may need. There we go.
How's that?
Yeah, perfect. There's hardly any delay as well for all these thousands of miles. Just remind us exactly where you are. Well, don't give us your address, but
I'm actually right outside, Paul. If you just turn around, I'm right there.
I wonder what the screaming was.
I live in the United States. I live in a state called Massachusetts, slightly south of Boston, near Cape Cod. For all the whaling fans, near New Bedford, the whaling capital of the world.
And I think you were saying last time we chatted that you were going to be heading out on a whale watching cruise.
Yeah, actually, my wife and I went out on Friday. Froze to death. It was really, really cold. It was 80 degrees Fahrenheit on Thursday, and then on Friday, it dropped to about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And it was really choppy, and the waves were 4 to 5 foot swells, and it was freezing cold. But we saw humpback whales. We saw some really cute gray seals just lying there eating fish. And we saw a fin whale, the second largest animal in the world, at about 75 feet long.
Wonderful. And of course, it's only second largest in the world because of the first is another whale. Would you kindly explain whereabouts your love for all things maritime and shanty comes from?
I grew up right near Mystic Seaport. I spent my summers there as a child. My family had a house on the ocean, and we were always watching things at Mystic Seaport. And then years and years ago, over 20 years ago, right around the turn of the century, which makes me feel really, really old to say, I joined a Renaissance fair and started working as a Renaissance fair performer. and did a lot of singing there. And a lot of the music that is sung at a Renaissance fair is, you've got Celtic tunes and you've got a lot of sea shanties, you know. So I think the first one I ever learned was, of course, y'all learned Drunken Sailor as a child, but the Bonnie Ship the Diamond was, I think, one of the first songs I ever sang at a Renaissance fair. And if that's not a sailing song, I don't know what is.
Yeah, fantastic one. Have you heard Bob Dylan's version?
No, that could be because I am. Bob Dylan's voice doesn't exactly play nice with my ears.
Okay. I'm not sure we can be friends now, Jonathan. I'm kidding.
Well, it's been fun, everybody. I'm gonna go do my version of Drunken Nelson somewhere else now. So
yeah. Talking of which, would you kindly enlighten us now? You sing shanties with a pirate crew of your own, not the Rogue Shanty Chorus, but would you let us all know the fine name so that people can look it up and see exactly what your group has to offer?
I sing with a group called the Brethren Order of the Northeastern Sea, more commonly known as Bones. We're here on Facebook as, I think, Shanty Bones. I think actually our bosun was in the conversation a little while ago, Rachel Eldridge. She's the one who introduced me to you guys, and I joined probably 4 years ago, because we do a lot of Ren fairs and everything, and everybody was pirates, and I play a very different pirate. I play absolutely ridiculous pirate, just over the top, flamboyant, big fancy coats and big fancy hats and feathers that knock people over, and carry a fan and a parasol. And they brought me in to just sort of be a little bit of comic relief, and it seems to have worked out pretty well. I've been with them for a few years. About a year or two ago, I was voted in to be the captain. So
fantastic.
There, I'm Captain Michael Summerborn.
Well, there's a lot of love coming from your crew tonight. Gary Hyman looks like a little bouquet of flowers that he's offering you.
Excellent.
Kerry Baggerson says, "Yay, Jonathan." And Dawn Evans says, "Yay" as well. Gary Hyman is just underlining that for us, Bones. And Rachel Eldridge says, "Hello, Captain." Kimberly Plaude, if I've got that right, or Plaude, says, "Hello, Captain."
I've known her for years and I can't say it, so I just call her Kim. So it's,
okay. So there's hope for me, not. And Casey O'Donnell, round of applause from her, and Dawn Evans.
Oh, we lost you. Paul?
Sorry, my man. All I wanted to say was, would you be interested to sing us a song or two?
Sure. I've actually got a couple. Funny enough, I was going to do a version of a song that might be a little bit familiar to people because we just heard a version of it. But one of the things we like about pirate music is is it can be done a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. And I'll be completely honest, I don't rightly remember how this got started. But it's a song that you may know, and because we're usually playing for a Renaissance fair, we want to do things that people will laugh and have fun with, and I think you'll be able to pick up what we're doing here. It's excuse me, I'm old. I need to move it so I can see the tablature. So
fair enough. Lovely 12-string you've got there.
Pardon?
Lovely 12-string that you're.
Excellent. Thank you. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way and up she rises, way and up she rises, way and up she rises, early in the morning. Tie him to the mast with a Jolly Roger, tie him to the mast with a Jolly Roger, tie him to the mast with a Jolly Roger, early in the morning. Way and up she rises, way and up she rises, way and up she rises, early in the morning. Take him to the pub and get him drunker. Take him to the pub and get him drunker. Take him to the pub and get him drunker. Early in the morning. Way up she rises. Way up she rises. Way up she rises. Early in the morning. Give him a drop of Nelson's blood. Give him a drop of Nelson's blood. Give him a drop of Nelson's blood, and we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, a little mug of beer wouldn't do him any harm. No, a little mug of beer wouldn't do him any harm. No, a little mug of beer wouldn't do him any harm. I am getting old. And we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, a plate of our stew wouldn't do him any harm. No, a plate of our stew wouldn't do him any harm. Plate of our stew wouldn't do him any harm, and we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, a little glass of rum wouldn't do him any harm. No, a little glass of rum wouldn't do him any harm. No, a little glass of rum wouldn't do him any harm, and we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, that's what you do with a drunken sailor. That's what you do with a drunken sailor. That's what you do with a drunken sailor. And we'll all hang on behind. That was years ago. We were sort of just playing around, and I can't remember if it started off with us just mispronouncing what we were doing, or if it was we're going to do Drunken Nelson, and it was just like, I guess we're living with that, but it became sort of a thing. And one of the things that we often do is we'll go faster and faster and faster and faster till it kind of turns into a frenzy, but that's really not conducive for Zoom. So
yeah. And talking of not conducive for Zoom is poor internet quality. I have to let you know, Jonathan, that over here in the UK, we're suffering a little bit of a heat wave, and by heat wave I mean it's hot for us, probably not very hot for you, but it seems to be playing havoc with the connection. Hopefully it didn't interfere too much with people's enjoyment. I don't think it did, because Carly Franklin gets in touch and offers 4 rounds of applause. Same from Michelle Gallagher, who says fantastic. Sarah Jordan's offering 4 rounds of applause, and your own Kerry only offers 3. Now, Rachel Eldridge says, if I remember correctly, we decided to combine the 2 because we'd been doing them both separately for a few years and wanted to do something different. Then we discovered by accident that they flow into each other.
That sounds very, 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 very plausible.
Yeah. And one thing from the Woods household, they ask if you could explain what is a Renaissance fair, please.
So a Renaissance fair it's a Renaissance festival. It's oftentimes it will be a large area. Some of the ones that we perform at are acres and acres and acres, and it's a festival that's basically set up like a Renaissance village. There'll be knights and jousting and singing and jesters and royalty and shops and lots of turkey legs and all sorts of things such as that. And it's an entire day-long festival that a lot of people will do. That's just absolutely, it's a lot of fun. It's a great time. If you're ever in the United States, coming to Boston because you want to go to Mystic Seaport, or you want to go to New Bedford and see the whales where Moby Dick opened, there are a couple in this area that I can definitely point you to.
Brilliant. Well, I'll be there as quick as a flash. And what kind of reactions do you get at the at anywhere that Bones performs at? Do you get a variety of ages and kind of different reactions from different people?
It's kind of amazing. We've got a lot of pretty solid fans. We had one little girl named Ivy who just came year after year after year and became just a super fan. She would come and visit us at a show we did in New Hampshire, and she's like a full-grown human now. And we remember her when she was just this teeny tiny wee thing. There was a woman tonight, Dawn, who commented love from her and Maggie. And Maggie, when I met Maggie was just she was a tiny little thing, and Maggie drives now. Of course, I always call Maggie Fred because I'm terrible with names. So I just call everybody that comes up to me Fred because it cuts down on confusion. But so it's yeah, we get all kinds of people. We have lots of adults, a lot of people in costume. The great thing about a Renaissance fair is people will come because they want to interact. A lot like your show, people come along because they want to sing with you. A lot of times at our shows, people will sing along. For a while, we had a show that we would do that we'd actually teach the people the songs. This is the next song we're going to do. One of our shanty men, this wonderful musician, would break it down. This is what the song is. This is what it means. And, here's the call and answer. And he'd teach them, and then we'd all perform it together. We had music books, much like you did. And it was a really great set that a lot of us really enjoyed doing.
And that really plays into one of the other hats that you wear as an educator. Yes. Because not only are you entertaining people, you're also giving them the historical or some of the historical context.
We focus a lot on the entertainment, but we do work a lot of the history in. We also point out a lot of times the inaccuracies in history. There's a very famous song. It was one of the songs I prepared. It's one of our most requested songs. It's a song called "Rain a Raging," and it's this beautiful song. It's otherwise known as the Sailor's Prayer. And this beautiful song about pirates and, my sails be torn and tattered and my mast be turned about was written in 1983 by a guy in New York City who said, I wonder if I could write a sailing song. And it's become this one of our most requested songs.
Right.
Kind of a lot of fun that it was this guy going, I wonder if I could write a sailing song, but I think I'll make it a bluesy country number. Rod McDonald. It was 1983. It was written, released in 1984. And Americans all over the country who go to Renaissance fairs all know this song. It's kind of interesting.
Interesting is a word I would use to describe yourself, Jonathan, actually, because I've mentioned some of the hats that you wear as a scientist and an educator through your brand of man science. Not just a shanty man with bones, but also you try your hand at stand-up comedy as well, I believe.
I did do some improv, taking a little time off from that for a while, but done comedy shows, improv comedy. I actually just debuted a new improv comedy show at a virtual Renaissance fair a couple of weeks back. That was a lot of fun. I teach science to children. I go into schools and do things that you absolutely should not do. But I have a license to do it. So I am the one person who's not only requested, but paid to go into a school and blow things up.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Well, I should just say your recent comedy show, improv comedy, we shared that post on our Facebook page. So if you have any coming up, I'm sure people would love to see it. You'll let us know again, and we can share it on our pages.
I will definitely let you know when it's coming up.
Fantastic. If you've got one more song to sing, that would be great.
Yeah.
Before you do, I'm just gonna mention one last time to people that our word of the week is Lowry or Lowry. Please do let us know what your guesses might be for that, and I'll tell you what it is at the end. But in the meantime,
I think that Lowry is a seasoned salt.
Oh, I like that a lot. The kind that you would use to preserve meat, perhaps on ships.
The kind that I have upstairs that is called Lowry seasoning salt.
Okay, fantastic. What song do you have for us next, Jonathan?
I actually, the last one I prepared was last week. You asked if we had any requests, and one of the songs that you and I talked about was a song called "Bones in the Ocean." I know it from a group called the Longest Johns. That is, and it's a great song. I love it. It's been kind of one of my songs that's gotten me through the pandemic. Just an absolutely beautiful song, and I'd like to do this one for you. This is actually the first time I've ever actually performed this song anywhere other than for my wife. So
wonderful.
Be kind. Okay.
Oh, we will. We'll probably be kinder than your wife, I imagine.
She actually likes it when I sing. So
Good. Well, take the floor, Jonathan. Thank you very much.
thank you very much, my friend. Oh, I bid farewell to the port and the land, and I paddle away from brave England's white sands, search for my long ago forgotten friends, to search for the place I hear all sailors end, and the souls of the dead fill the space of my mind, and I'll search without sleeping till peace I can find. Fear not the weather, I fear not the sea, I remember the fallen, they think of me, when my bones in the ocean forever will be. Plot a course to the night, to the place I once knew, to a place where my hope died along with my crew. So I swallowed my grief, I faced life's final test, find promise of peace and the solace of rest, and the souls of the dead fill the space of my mind, and the laughter like children that beckoning cheers. The heart longs to join them, sing songs of the sea. I remember the fallen, till they think of me, when the bones in the ocean forever will be. When at last before my ghostly shipmates I stand, I shed a small tear for my home upon land, though their eyes speak of depths filled with struggle and strife. Their smiles below say I don't know them, my life. As the souls of the dead fill the space of my eyes, and my boat listed over and tried to capsize. I'm this far from drowning, this far from the sea. I remember the living, that they think of me, when my bones in the ocean forever will be. Now that I'm staring out at the darkest abyss, I'm not sure what I want, but I don't think it's this. As my comrades call to stand fast and forge on, I make sail for the dawn, till the darkness has gone, and the souls of the dead live forever in my mind, as I live all these years that they've left me behind. I'll stay on the shores, but still gaze at the sea. I remember the fallen, do they think of me? For our souls in the ocean together will be. I remember the fallen, and they think of me. For our souls in the ocean together will be.
Thank you, Jonathan. What a wonderful song. Really fantastic. Thank you for introducing it to us. Well, not just to me, but Sue Day, one of our rogues, says, thank you, Jonathan. Enjoyed that song. And Sarah Jordan says, like this very much. 4 rounds of applause.
Thank you very much.
Michelle
Just
Gallagher.
saying, even normally gets 5. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Lovely, says Michelle Gallagher. 4 rounds of applause. And well done, says Gary Hyman. And he gives you the 5 straight in there. Marion Boucher, our British Columbian correspondent, says, it's a great song, Jonathan. 3 rounds of applause. 1 from Rachel and 4 from Carly. And the Drapers say, love that song. Thanks.
Thanks, Barry.
Lots more. Linda Boyce says, lovely song, Jonathan. Thank you. And Sarah Jordan says, like this very much. And Kerry Baggerson says, shout out to Jonathan's Wendy. She's wonderful. Your friend Gary Hyman. Gary Hyman wonders if Lowry could be a wheelbarrow. Interesting. What else? Yes. I'm not sure if I can quite pronounce this, but My Shift Managed says, hey, John.
Hey, Mischief Managed.
Much
They're another group of Renaissance Fair performers. They're a wonderful, wonderful group. Crazy harmonies that they mean to do, because normally when I do harmonies, it's unintentional. They do these phenomenal, like 8-person harmonies intentionally.
Fantastic. Well, they miss you apparently, so it sounds like they're trying to pinch you back.
Oh, I've never been lucky enough to sing with them. So
Well,
they're wonderful, phenomenal.
Well, we'll check them out. Mischief Managed. Thank you for getting in touch, guys. Lovely to have this kind of reach out across the Shanty spectrum. And Casey O'Donnell, there you go. 6 rounds of applause from Casey for yourself, and every one of those well earned and well deserved. Jonathan, thank you so much for coming along tonight. It's been a real pleasure. 2 fantastic songs, especially that last one. What a lovely piece. Thank you for introducing it to us. And
thank you for the invite. You guys have been phenomenal, giving me something to do once a week. I look forward to the times that I get to see you both. So thank you for inviting me, and just thank you for doing this for 60 weeks.
Well, it's our pleasure. Thank you, mate. Take care, won't you?
You as well. Bye-bye.
What a fantastic performer. Jonathan, singer, guitarist, and really, really nice guy. And talking of nice people, we are due to have a couple more lovely people, and they are called Carly and Michelle. Carly and Michelle, give me a little wave if you can hear me. Thank you. One from Michelle and one from Carly. Great. I'll be coming over to you very shortly, and it will be lovely for people to, well, especially from our regular rogues that will recognise these 2 ladies, and they're often there. In fact, they've always been there as part of the Rogue Shanty Chorus, singing and taking some solo lines, singing harmonies, and really getting into the spirit of what we do at the Rogue Shanty Chorus. They'll be up with us very shortly. I'm going to sing another song first, but before I do that, I'm going to let you know all about the Connections project. Now, this is a short series of online interactive how-to Zoom sessions featuring bespoke presentations covering unique subjects that will give you the chance to learn some rather enviable skills. Coming up next is the 23rd of June. This month. It's the 1st of June. Of course it is. This month, the 23rd of June, you can join Fiona Davies, who will be teaching us a little bit of step dancing. Now, step dancing runs in Fiona's blood, and she's rather excellent at it. And we're very, very lucky that she's able to join us on the 23rd of June. If you'd like to know a little bit more about that, you can have a look on our website, www.thevoicecloud.co.uk/connections. And on there, you'll find a little bit more information, and you'll see how you can sign up. Really, it's completely free, thanks to our friends at East Suffolk Council. They have funded this project and given us the opportunity to present to you these fantastic Zoom sessions. So it's completely free to anybody that would like to join, but we do need to know in advance that you would like to join so we can send you the specific link required. Anyway, enough of that. I'm sure we'll be inundated because Fiona's a fantastic step dancer. In the meantime, I'm going to sing you a crazy little number called The Unnatural Murder. Now, this is a song, basically, have a listen to the lyrics, and the account is all quite real. All you who have children, dear, now hear this tale of woe. The history of this tragedy I now to you will show. A happy couple at Penryn had a son who went to sea, and after 15 years returned his parents for to see. He to their cot disguised did go, our shelter from the cold, and ere he laid him down to sleep, showed all his wealth and gold. The mother to the father went in anxious, breathless haste, and told of treasures she had seen around the stranger's waist. The father then by Satan led did take the killer's part. He stole the cursed gold away and stabbed his own boy's heart. and scarce before the parents yet had seen tomorrow's light, their daughter came with joy to ask of the sailor there last night. She said, "It is my brother James, who long at sea has roved. He's come back home to share his wealth with those he dearly loved." Oh, when they found the murdered youth was their own darling boy, most frightful horrors seized their minds, and bitterly they cried. The guilty pair then slew themselves, their sin they could not hide, and the broken-hearted daughter sank to the ground and died. Yeah, so number 28 in the Rogue Shanty Chorus repertoire. Perhaps not the jolliest of songs, it has to be said. But it's a true story from a pamphlet in 1618. We get an account of a young man's death, and it's headed "News from Perrin in Cornwall, a most bloody and unexampled murder very lately committed by a father on his own son." And basically, this young man left home at a very early age to travel the seas, and when he returned, he was quite different looking, having gone in through his adolescence into adulthood. So much so that the parents no longer recognized their son, and only the sister did, because he approached his sister and said, "Don't tell mum and dad, I'm going to play a prank on them." Unfortunately, rather turned round into his misfortune, as these things often do, and they killed him for his money. And then when the daughter said, "Why did you do that? That was your son," they felt so stupid they had to kill themselves as a result. And then the daughter died of a broken heart, having seen her parents become murderers and kill themselves. Anyway, as I said, not the jolliest of tunes. But we have a few more guesses on Lowry or Lowry. One from Marion Bouchette, who says, "The part of the church where the hoi polloi jostle elbows." I like that. That's a very good explanation. And Marion very kindly applauds the Unnatural Murder. And I think she's applauding my singing it rather than the actual murder itself. So we've had a few guesses on Lowry. As Marion said, where the hoi polloi rub shoulders. And Sarah Jordan says, "Could it be a Lowestoft built wherry, a Lowry?" I like that. That's very, very clever. And as I mentioned earlier, Gary Hyman says, "Is it wheelbarrow?" Well, all of these could be true, and none of them could be true. We'll come back to that very soon. One last guess from Kerry Baggerson: is a Lowry a vehicle? Could be in this day and age, but we're talking about 1823 this book was compiled, so we'll find that out. Anyway, in the meantime, I promised you two lovely ladies from our choir, the Rogue Shanty Chorus. They are, of course, Michelle and Carly, two of our rogues. I'm going to bring them both in. We'll have a little chat, see how they've been getting on through this awful pandemic era. Hi to Michelle.
Hello.
And hi to Carly. Getting a little bit feedback there. I think it's coming from Carly's. I've just muted you for a minute, Carly. I don't suppose you have any headphones that you could pop in at all. That would be ideal. In the meantime, I'll just chat to Michelle and see if we can resolve that issue. Michelle, how have you been?
I've been very well, thank you. How have you been?
Oh, pretty good. Thank you for asking. Now, would you mind having a little chat? Let us know how long ago it is now that you first joined the Rogue Shanty Chorus.
Not as long as what you think, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't actually join until the very beginning of 2019.
Oh,
yeah, so I'm relatively new.
Yeah, roughly about halfway through the project as a whole. But it's been great to have you since then. And of course, before that, you reminded me you were helping us out somewhat.
I was
volunteering.
an honorary rogue.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But it's great to have you. And of course, as I said, sometimes we try and share out the solo lines. People don't come to our shows to hear me and Stephen sing them, so we like to share them out amongst the rogues for those that would like to. And also, you've taken to playing the penny whistle once or twice at some of our shows as well.
Yeah, I've only ever done one show with the rogues.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we can chat with Carly as well. How are you, Carly?
I'm fine, thank you. I hope you are as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for popping the headphones in, and that's cured that little problem. And Michelle was just saying she joined us in just over a couple of years ago now. But you've been with us right from the start, I think, Carly. Is that right?
Yes, I have. I've been right from the start along with my auntie Kathy Ashman. So we both come together.
What was it that made you think that looks interesting, or a bit of a laugh, or something different? What was it that prompted you to come along all that time ago?
What prompted me to come along was I wanted to get the experience to learn about the sea shanty songs, make new friends, see what it was like. I heard from the other choir that we were at, the Kirkley choir, so from you and Stephen, really come along to your taster session.
Fantastic. Michelle, what about the choir? What's your favourite thing? Is it the songs we sing, or the people, or is it just that me and Stephen don't mind making idiots of ourselves? What kind of thing makes it worthwhile coming along when we do come along on a fortnightly basis?
Definitely the people, the music, and I'm a bit of a history buff, so learning all of the backstory for all the Shanties and stuff is definitely a big plus for me.
Fantastic. And Carly, taking on a little bit more of things like solos or harmony lines, that's something you've started to really embrace more recently in the project. Do you feel it's has there been a change that's enabled you to do that, or is it just support from people around you and the good people that make up the Rogues chorus?
It's a bit of both. It's the good people of the Rogue chorus, and it has given me more confidence to do more solos, or try to do solos and harmonies.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. I'm just going to flash up on screen. Chloe Schneider, another of our rogues, says, "Woo! Go Carly and Michelle."
Hi, Chloe.
Thanks, Chloe.
And I really think it's been lovely for some of our rogues to see familiar faces. We love having guests, and Jonathan exemplified that earlier on today. So it's nice to see new faces, but to see familiar faces, I think, is also really, really useful for our rogues. So thank you very much for coming along. Carly, I believe you weren't looking to sing a song tonight, were you? But Michelle, did we ask you if you might?
You didn't ask me, but if you want me to, I can probably throw something out there.
I should have asked you. I'm going to say before you both go, Marion asks, what are your favourite shanties? First off, Carly, what would be your favourite shanty that we sing?
My favourite shanty, it would have to be. I'm trying to think. It would have to be.
There is a lot.
I can't remember. Yes, there is quite a lot, but I can't remember. Just
okay.
Just say Drunken Sailor. There you go.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to say goodnight to Carly. Thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Bye, Carly.
Michelle, that was hideously unfair of me. I tell you what would be a better idea is if I were to. There is a lot of people out there saying, "Please sing us a song." How about we invite you on to a future one, whereby you've had a little bit of warning, fair warning in advance, and you sing for us on another occasion? Would that be nicer?
Well, it's up to you, but I know what you're like. I've known you long enough. You know what you're like. But I did prepare something just in case.
Ah, brilliant. Okay.
You know how organised I am.
Fantastic. In that case, before you sing us the song, what would be your favourite shanty? Asked Marion.
I like singing Rolling Down to Old Maui,
Yeah.
Molly Mork, and If I Were a Blackbird.
Oh, lovely, lovly song.
Those are kind of my ones. Yeah.
One of my favourites too. Okay, without further ado, thank you for preparing this, knowing what we're like. I'm going to leave you with the floor and ask Michelle Gallagher, one of our regular rogues, to sing us a song from all the way from Great Yarmouth.
Hello, everyone. I went with something a little different. Being a history buff, I kind of like the Viking era as one of the sort of the eras I like. So recently, a game came out, and it featured a song that was originally written. It's been translated from a poem from Egil's saga. So I thought I'd go with a version of that. It's called My Mother Told Me. My mother told me someday I would buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand upon the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen. My mother told me someday I would buy galley with good oars, sail to distant shores, stand upon the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course to the haven, hew many foemen, hew many foemen. So that poem was originally from chapter 40 of Egil's saga, and that was written probably around 1220, 1240 AD. So that's the general sort of translation from the original sort of version.
Fantastic. Thanks for bringing it to us. I particularly like that one as well. So I'm right with you on that. And so is Jonathan Brindle. He says, this is one of my favourite songs. And Marion Bouchette, 4 rounds of applause. Nicely done, Michelle. 4 from Sarah Jordan.
Thank you.
Gary Hyman says, great song. And Jackie Draper says, good to see you, Michelle and Carly. Chloe agrees. She says, great to see you both and great singing, Michelle. Can't wait to get back to us, Shanties. And I
really missed it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. Sorry to drop you in the deep end like that. Good job. You must have been a girl guide.
No.
No.
They're just organised.
Well, lovely to speak to you. Of course, lovely to speak to Carly as well. Thank you both for coming on. I'll just let you know these comments actually they're coming in thick and fast. Fantastic, Michelle says. Sude, 5 rounds of applause from Jonathan Brindle. Rachel Eldridge says, absolutely love that song. Carly says, thank you. No, thank you, Carly. Really lovely to have you on board tonight. Take care, Michelle. We look forward to seeing you soon.
And you. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye. So, what a lovely bunch of people we've been delighted to welcome tonight. I must just say, because I hadn't said before, that I'll be heading over to Zoom. I say 8:30, but I'm already running way behind. But that's no problem. But yes, on Zoom we'll be having a little bit of a shanty chat tonight. So only for about half an hour, but do come and log in and give us some of that shanty chat from yourself. If you'd like to know how to get on board, all you have to do is head over to thevoicecloud.co.uk/Zoom, and you can join us with the instructions that are on there just for half an hour or so. Don't forget about our Connections project and step dancing extraordinaire Fiona Davies. She'll be hosting this very special Connections Zoom presentation on 23rd of June. It'll start at 7:30, but we log in anytime from 7, so you can come on and have a bit of a chat again. A few more comments that came in. Linda Boy says, that was lovely, Michelle. Thank you. Sarah Jordan says, thank you, Michelle and Carly. Before I sing one final song, and this is called The Farewell Shanty, rather aptly, I really had better let you know what tonight's word of the week was. And by word of the week, I mean, how you heard it, boy? How you heard it? The word is Lowry or Lowry. We had a few guesses, none of them quite right. It was this explanation. Lowry, threatening to be wet / overcast. No chance of that today, which is lovely, because in Britain, at least, we have had amazing weather for a couple of days now, and I think it will carry on with some more amazing weather. So well done to anyone that got it right. No one put it in on the comments correctly, but there's always next week. Please join us next week. In the meantime, I'm going to sing us out with a farewell shanty. We'll be back with episode 61 on the 8th of June. And thank you very much for your company tonight. I really appreciated it. It is time to go now. Haul away your anchor. Haul away your anchor. 'Tis our sailing time. Get some sail upon her. Haul away your halyards. Haul away your halyards. 'Tis our sailing time. Set her on her course now. Haul away your foresheets. Haul away your foresheets. 'Tis our sailing time. Till the seas run under. Haul away down channel. Haul away down channel. On the evening tide. When my time is over, haul away for heaven. Haul away for heaven. Lord, be at my side. Thank you once again for joining me, and thank you to all our guests, the fantastic Jonathan Brindle and Carly and Michelle from our Rogues Chorus. We'll see you next week, unless you'd like to join me on Zoom for a bit of a chat for half an hour. Anyway, I'll catch you there. If not, I'll catch you here in a week's time. Take care, everyone, and good night, and have a lovely week.